We've all been there. You're sitting on your bed, phoning, and a well-meaning friend tells you, you'll get over your ex soon. Just give it time. But let's be honest, that's not really how heartbreak works, is it? Heartbreak isn't like a flat tire you can just patch up, or a broken coffee maker you can replace. It's not some simple glitch in your life that a checklist can fix. When you lose someone you loved deeply, it is not just sadness, you feel it. Like your entire emotional system has been completely hijacked. So, what actually helps when you're still thinking about your ex? Whether it's been 10 months or 15 years, it's not the neat, polite advice you usually hear. You need something more radical, more compassionate, and frankly, a lot more real. Let's talk about what that looks like. First, and this is a big one, stop expecting to get over it quickly. We do ourselves so much harm when we treat heartbreak like a common cold. Oh, you'll be fine in 3 months, 6 months, max. And of course, the classic, time heals all wounds. But what if it doesn't? What if the wound never completely heals? What if, instead of treating heartbreak like a passing fever, we treated it like a chronic condition? What if we gave ourselves permission for the pain to last as long as it needs, 2-3 months, 10 years, maybe even a lifetime? Imagine if we stopped piling shame on top of our heartbreak by telling ourselves we should be over it by now, just because our friends seem to be on some sensible, approved timeline. Second, build the loss into your identity. This might sound strange, but hear me out. Instead of hiding your heartbreak like an embarrassing scar, what if you made it part of who you are? Imagine introducing yourself not just by your name, your job, or your hobbies, but by acknowledging, I lost someone extraordinary 15 years ago. To really know me is to understand the wound they left. It's brutally honest, but it can also be incredibly freeing. You aren't just a country of birth, a year on your passport, or a set of skills. You are also someone who loved deeply and lost deeply. That's a part of your story. Third, give your madness free rein. We live in a culture that is obsessed with dignity. We're constantly told to be classy about heartbreak, but sometimes, the only way through the pain is to drop the act. If you find yourself sobbing in bed at 2 p.m., clutching that old stuffed camel they gave you at the Cairo airport 7 years ago, let it open. Write them a long, angry letter, telling them all the reasons they were wrong. Then, write another one about how much you still adore them. Then, if you feel like it, write the letter you wish they would send you. I'm so deeply sorry. I finally see you were right. You're the only one who understands me. I belong to you and no one else. You may never send any of these letters, but the act of writing them matters. You might even find yourself drafting the wedding speech you once imagined giving, back when you thought this was just a few bumps in the road. There are no rules here. TC's grief, not an etiquette class. You have to let it out. Fourth, don't just hate them. Your friends will urge you to be realistic. They'll make a list of all the ways your ex treated you badly, especially at the end. And you know what? They're probably rich your ex likely behaved terribly, but in private, in the quiet moments, you are allowed to remember their beauty, their charm, their gorgeous hands, their clever jokes. Idealize them until you reach a point where it starts to feel a little ridiculous. Love them fiercely in your imagination until it finally clicks. The person you lost was some celestial visitor from another planet. They were a flawed, sometimes selfish human being who happened to touch your life for a while. And that's okay. Finally, and this is the most controversial one, break the so-called wise rules. You'll hear it 1,000 times. Never call them. Never beg. Always block their number. And yes, in the long run, those are good rules. But here is the paradox. Sometimes you can grow up without first letting yourself be messy. Sometimes you have to make the call. You have to send the text. You have to try everything. You have to watch it fail. You might even humiliate yourself, become a shadow of your former self, and sink as deep as the pain takes you. Why? Because the only way your emotions can truly learn what your brain already knows is to live it. You have to experience the impossibility, not just think about it. When you let yourself actually feel the full force of the rejection, the finality of it all, the lesson sinks in authentically, not just intellectually. No one can hand you wisdom early. No one can do this difficult work for you. Sometimes, the only way back to sanity is to give your madness its full, necessary, and sometimes horrific run. Heartbreak is not a moral failure. It's not a sign that you're weak. It's proof that you dared to love. And surviving it isn't about looking perfect or moving on according to someone else's timeline. It's about living the impossibility until your heart finally catches up with your head. So if you're still thinking about your ex months, years, even decades later, don't shame yourself for it. Don't rush the process. Give your grief as much room as it needs to breathe. And when you're ready, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what is the most unexpected thing you've done during a heartbreak? Did it help you? What did it teach you? If this video gave you some comfort today, please hit that like button. Share it with a friend who might be struggling, and subscribe for more content like this. Because healing doesn't happen by pretending everything is fine. It happens by allowing ourselves to be fully and completely human. Thanks for watching.